I called him the Kerry King of cello because he did this crazy solo on one of our tracks.
Welcome to the Dreams of Consciousness podcast. If you'd be so kind, would you mind introducing yourself?
Hey, everybody. I'm Dave Curran. I'm the bass player and singer for Baratro.
And Dave, how would you describe the music of Baratro?
Noisy, controlled chaos.
What relationship would you say Baratro has to noise rock or post-hardcore or hardcore punk?
I think just all our various, where we came from, essentially. Like, I played in Unsane for a very long time, 25 years or so. And Federico, he played in a very, very awesome punk band called Council of Rats. And Luca, our drummer, he played with a band called Marnero, who were very, very doomy, very ambient, very cool. So yeah, it's just it's a mixture, marriage of all those things together.
Yeah.
And now with the new record, we got Matteo, who's added a new layer of his talent playing the cello. So
Yeah.
it changes the dynamics a little bit.
Yeah. And I'd also like to speak to you a little bit about Matteo's contributions. But before we get there, Baratro is based in Milan, in Italy.
Yeah, our practice space is in Milan.
Or are you personally living in Italy now?
I am living in Italy. I don't live in Milan proper, though. I live like out in the countryside, about 40 minutes out. Got a little small town called Vigevano.
Okay. I think people who know you from Unsane and, how intrinsic Unsane was to the New York noise rock scene will be curious as to how you ended up in Italy.
Well, it was about 2018. Vinny and I we did our last tour with Unsane, and then we both left the band. And I briefly moved to Texas, but this was before at any rate. But long story short, I fell in love and I moved here for my wife
Okay.
in 2016. So I've been here like 10 years now.
Okay. And how did you meet the other guys in Baratro?
Federico, he did sound at Cox 18, which is like sort of a famous squat here that a lot of bands from all over the place played. And I'd played there in 2013 and in 2015 with another band of mine called Pigs. And that's how I initially met them. And then when I finally moved here, I go down there to hang out. They're all old friends of mine since like 1994, the guys that run the place. So I'd wind up hanging out there quite a bit. And Federico and I always said, "Hey, we should start a band." So basically in 2018, when my touring schedule slowed down and I had more time, we started jamming together and started writing some songs.
Well, in terms of the style of Baratro, did you go into it with any intention to make any particular kind of music?
Yeah, I never have it honestly with any band I've been in. It's quite, I don't know, just organic in general. Like we get together in the practice space, somebody comes up with either a drum beat or a guitar riff or a bass line, and we sort of like riff on that and improvise on that till we find something we like, and then we start recording bits that we like, and then get back together another day and sort of put those parts together in a way that, we like and makes sense to us.
So you mentioned Matteo, who plays cello.
Yeah.
How did he get involved with this, and why did you decide you wanted to include a cello in your sound?
Well, he is a friend of ours first and foremost, and then on our last record, Sweet Smell of Unrest, we'd asked him to just add a cello track on the closing track of the record. It's like a long doomy sort of thing. And what he came up with was just amazing to us completely. So we're like, wow, that sounds really amazing. And yeah, over a couple of beers, we just asked him if he'd join the band and he'd be interested in writing a record with us. And he said, yeah. So here we are.
What would you say the role of the cello is in Baratro's music? Is it purely ambience, or do you feel like it kind of functions like a lead guitar?
I think it functions in both those ways and perhaps even others. He often takes sort of lead. I called him the Kerry King of cello because he did this crazy solo on one of our tracks. But he also has like a really, really good sense of just the mood, I suppose, of each song. So sometimes like he'll take the lead a little bit, like either in an intro or, but then when it's time to just like add more beef to the low end, like he starts going low. When it's time to like do crazy stuff with the guitar, he does that as well. He's got a real good knack, let's say, for the feel of each song.
Yeah, I think for people who, if your exposure to like cello in heavy music is bands like My Dying Bride, where
Sure, yeah. Prominent, yeah.
the cello is very, like ambient or atmospheric. I think the way Matteo plays his cello, it makes sense in this like noise rock, no wave kind of way, where it's almost like these post-war classical composers like Penderecki who are very discordant and very noisy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I could totally see that. Yeah, and again with him, it's just our luck that it turns out writing songs with him come out this way. You know what I mean? It's not like he even said out like I'm going to do this, or this. It's we just get together and he might start with something and then we layer over it and all the way around the room.
You mentioned that originally your songs were written by you and Federico improvising. With the addition of Matteo, is that still how songs come together for you, or has it changed a bit?
Yeah, yeah, completely. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's just how each one of us, all of us individually and together, we just got used to writing like that. So it's just we get together, and like I said, someone comes up with a riff or a beat or something, and then another person like hops in with an idea. We layer over that, and then layer over the next thing, and we record it. And we record it, and like we don't keep everything, but whatever we keep, and then we come back to it and work it into a full song.
What kind of recordings are these? Are you recording it to a phone, or are you using like a DAW, like Pro Tools or something like that?
Oh, the stuff in the space is just it's just on the phone. You know,
Okay.
we save the fancy stuff for the records.
Do you do any pre-pro on your own? Like, do you do any like home?
Oh yeah, no, I do a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a sound engineer by trade as well, so I record records, I do live sound and stuff like that. So I got my little mini rig at my place, so I can do pre-prod stuff. I can even do like mixing and mastering stuff as well.
Okay. How complete are these demos before you go into the studio? Do you have everything, including the vocals?
Song structures are solid. Like by the time we go to the studio, the real studio, yeah, we worked out all the kinks. You know, obviously, like we're lucky enough to have a not a super lengthy amount of time because we got it done fairly quickly, but we had enough time to get the songs like hashed out and ready. Like we even played them live a little bit before recording them, you know.
Have you gotten a chance to play live with Mateo?
Oh yeah, yeah, a bunch of times. Even before the new record, after he'd done the closing track, the Glut, he'd come into practice with us anyway and started writing parts to other songs on the record, like some of the, I don't know, some of the trippier jams, I suppose. But yeah, and then like he would come in like as a guest, like for the last half of our set kind of thing. So we'd play like four songs with him, and then once we started writing new material with him, we started including those in the set as well before the record came out. Now that the record's out, we're just doing mostly new material with a couple of those older ones that we worked out with him back in those days, you know.
I'm curious, as a sound engineer, are there additional challenges to having to mic Mateo, to mic the cello?
Well, he's pretty self-contained, honestly. And in the studio, we had a drum room, we had a bass room, a guitar room, and he was in the control room. And he's got a pickup on the cello, but we set up a mic as well. It's just the engineer has to stay quiet, obviously, during the when they hit record. But that's kind of how we worked it out. It's really just his DI through his pedal board because he does use effects and stuff. And with a nice, like a Neumann, I think we used just right in front of his clef there.
When you play live, does he have like an amp or is he going through the PA?
No, live he strictly uses the DI. It just solves many feedback problems that we would get by miking him. And it still sounds great. I mean, he's got like a nice setup, so even with no effects, it sounds very full and crisp, and it's not missing anything, and it doesn't feed back in the monitor, more importantly.
So the second Baratro album is called No Comply,
Yep.
and it was released on the 8th of May through Supernatural Cat Records. We discussed Mateo's contributions and how it's changed the sound of the band. But besides that, how would you describe this album?
How would I describe it?
Yeah. In comparison to your previous work.
Right, right. Well, it's more dynamic for sure. It's a little more atmospheric at times, I would say. I don't know. We just explored more like the dynamic end of it, like when we go low, like still keeping it effective and lower, put this, I guess, dynamics again, but then when we hit hard, it just like accentuates it that much more. So I think like the vast majority of the trip on this record was just like trying to make the harder parts hit harder. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. You have a few guests on this album, including one gentleman who's been on this podcast before. Do you want to say who your guests were and how they got involved with this?
Sure. We had quite a few. First was my homie Vincent Signorelli, the drummer from Unsane, the ex-drummer in Unsane. He played second drum tracks on one of those songs. Eugene Robinson, who's an old pal as well, and he recently moved to Europe and has a band out here in Italy as well called Buñuel. And after doing a few concerts with them, we just asked him if he'd graciously do some singing on one of the tracks, and he accepted. And he made the video with us too, which was cool. There's Gypsy Rufina, who does like cigar box slide stuff, and he's amazing. He's really good. I just met him recently, but Luca and Federico and Matteo are all like old friends of his. They know him since high school, kind of thing. And who else? There was Chris from Hyperwolf. There was our friend Narish Ran, who did some like ambient stuff. And I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. I think that's it.
Okay. Eugene's been on this podcast before. Did he come up with his own lyrics for this, or was this something that you wrote?
He did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was this is like right before he moved to Spain. So he was still living in the States when we were recording this. So he just asked me to send him the multi-track. He had a guy out in Oakland that had a studio. So he just went in like one day and just banged it out. Yeah, yeah. But those are all his lyrics, his melodies, all that.
Was Vinny in the studio with you guys?
Vinny was here. Vinny recently got an apartment in my little town of Vigevano. So he's living out here for now 6 months out of the year, but he's trying to get his passport, so he's thinking of permanently coming over here as well.
Hmm. That's awesome. I mean, you've already expanded the lineup to include Matteo and the cello. But what do you think about having two drummers?
Oh, it's great. I've always been a big fan of the two drummer thing. I did sound for the Melvins for 8 years or something like that, and most of those years was when they had Cody and Jared from Big Business. So it was the two drummer lineup, and not only is it a pleasure to do sound for that kind of business, but hearing it is like so much impact when there's two drummers, especially when they're good drummers, obviously.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was very cool doing that thing with Vinny. It was surprisingly just easy. He just came into the practice space one day and just banged it out. He's like, "Oh, here you go." I was like, "All right, sounds great."
For the track that he guests on, was he doubling up the parts or did he have his own percussion?
Nope. I mean, at times, I guess they synchronize together, but even the way we mixed it, it's like Vinny on one side and Luca on the other.
Okay.
So it's his own part, then Luca layers over it, then they sort of meet in the middle during the chorus, and then they sort of dissolve at the end of the song.
you guys recorded this album?
We recorded at my buddy's place. His name is Traina, or Fabio Intragna, sorry. He's got a studio out on the outskirts of Milan that I use a lot for my work stuff, and we recorded the last two records there as well. Well, not recorded, we mixed there for the last two. And this one was the first time we did the full recording and mixing and mastering there.
I don't know if you're familiar with a band called Globia or Jovia. They're
Globia, what is it?
Jovia?
Jovia. No, I
Yeah,
don't think so.
they're somewhere nearby. They're in Milan.
Okay.
But they worked with Fabio on one of their albums.
Oh yeah, he's worked with a lot of people, man.
I'm curious, what did you want Fabio to bring to the sound of the album?
Well, like I said, we worked together on stuff many, many times, and I was usually at the controls, and I kind of wanted just to be able to sit back and, concentrate more on my playing and because I know he's got us, So I was just like, would you be interested in sort of mixing, doing the engineer work on the record? And he's like, absolutely. So it just made it easy on me, and it was just like a very relaxed atmosphere. And like I said, like he's really good. He's got this. We have a very similar philosophy, like recording, where it's important for us to reproduce what the band sounds like live, essentially. You know,
Okay.
on a record. It's hard to do, but a few tricks here and there, you can pull it off.
Yeah. You mentioned the term cinematic. I'm curious, do you feel like this album, in comparison to the previous ones, has more of like and you used the word dynamic a few times. Do you feel like it has that kind of like film score kind of feeling to it where it's very big and kind of,
Yeah, it's
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, so go ahead, finish your question by all means.
Oh, no, no. Yeah, just that kind of feeling that a film score has where it's like, there's a lot of depth to it and it's very expansive.
Yeah,
Like, do you feel the album has that sound?
yeah. In retrospect, it does. It has that quality a little bit. But I honestly like didn't even think of that correlation until someone wrote up like a review. Like one of our first reviews is described it as cinematic. Like I always used like more like atmospheric, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and then I was just like, well, that'd be kind of cool if someone hired us to write a movie score or something. And it could fit in that category, I suppose.
I mean, the video that you did with Eugene has like a very like noir kind of quality to it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys could do a movie like that?
Yeah. Well, given the time and someone to write a good movie, I suppose we could.
Is that something that you do outside of your work as a like noise rock musician? Do you do like film scores and stuff like that?
No, I did one a very, very, very long time ago when I still lived in Montreal. So I was like 18 or 19. And I ran the studio at the university there. And someone asked me to write a score for this documentary about runaway kids. And I basically just bit Ry Cooder from A to Z, Paris, Texas, and did that kind of stuff. But since I've not really done any sort of movie scoring work, I would like to, but it just hasn't come up, honestly.
Since you're an engineer, do you have like a full production suite with like all the, I don't know what you call them, but like the orchestral like plugins and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, in it's all like in the box digital stuff. I have a couple of analog comps, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's really just like bare bones stuff to get pre-production done and like yeah, which is why we wind up going to Tries every time because he's got the sweet analog business.
Yeah,
But yeah, to answer your question, I've got Pro Tools and all the plugins and all that business.
yeah. So No Comply is out now. It's been out for, I guess, a month and a half now.
Hmm.
Do you have plans to play further shows in the summer? Maybe do some tours or some festivals?
Oh, absolutely. Well, we are right now. We just played our last show like a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago. What's today's date? 2 weeks ago on the 12th. And we're taking a small break and then we're hitting it again in September, but we're going to tour outside of Italy and do some more Europe. So,
What's the status of touring? Because I hear from bands that like touring the US is impossible right now. Is it easier to tour Europe?
Well, for us at this point, yes.
Yeah,
It's just the touring America, the visas cost like an arm and a leg
right.
now, like trying to change the laws or whatever. Like Buñuel, Eugene's new band, they went. I believe they had some sponsorships of sorts, and the visas just for the three guys for a month-long tour was $14,000.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, like unless you're making a shit ton of money, a
Yeah,
European band touring over there is it's rough. So yeah, for us, obviously, we can just hop in the van and go wherever here.
yeah. What kind of bands do you usually play with when you tour Europe? Like, is it still more on the noise rock, post-hardcore side,
Oh
or
yeah, definitely. I mean, we get paired up with bands that I'd even played with Insane a few years back that are still kicking. So yeah, we get a lot of that. We played a lot of festivals in the last 6 weeks, and I guess what I like about the festivals is that it is a variety of bands. It's not just like the same. Not that I don't like noise bands, but you know what I mean? Like having more variety during a show, I think is a positive and a cool thing. But yeah, generally speaking, there's some noise stuff, but other like really interesting pair ups of genres, if you will.
true? So, No Comply is out now through Supernatural Cat Records.
Yes.
Dave, please tell everyone listening or watching on YouTube how they can order the album. What's the best way to get it?
All right. The best way you can go to our Bandcamp, which is baratro.bandcamp.com. We got everything available out now, every record, all our t-shirts, and yeah, so that's kind of the quickest way you can get it done. For the last record, you can go to our label, Supernatural Cat, which is just supernaturalcat.com, one word, and they got everything in there as well. And it's on their first page, I believe. You can see the special edition version of the new record, the regular edition, and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's it. That's where you can get it.
So, Supernatural Cat put out two vinyl versions.
Yeah.
One was extremely limited, so I don't know if it's still available.
For now, yes.
For now, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything else about the vinyl versions? There's like a marble or something, right?
Yeah. Well, their version, like we let them like just do their thing because they have like an in-house graphic called Hideous graphics squad that's incredible. They're just really good. And they did. They made like a skateboard themed vinyl packaging that wraps around the vinyl, and then it's like a sunburst supernova colored vinyl thing. It looks really good. They did an amazing job on that. Our regular version is also colored vinyl, but it's just a different pattern. And obviously the jacket isn't quite as fancy as the one they made. Yeah, they do a really bang up job, I must say.
This is your first album for Supernatural Cat, right?
Yeah.
I've had the Lufo Mamat guys on the podcast a few times.
Oh, cool.
How did you get involved with them? How did they get involved with releasing this?
Well, I've known those guys for a little while. We played together at various festivals, Unsane and Fun. And I'm good friends with their sound guy as well. And I guess it all started when Urlo came. We did a show at the castle in my hometown. It was like a summer festival-y kind of thing. We did a thing with the Cherubs from Texas. And Urlo came down for that show and he really liked the band. So once we got to chatting, he knew we were writing a new record with Mateo. So he says, like, keep me posted. I definitely want to hear that. And then yeah, basically when we had some pre-prod stuff ready to send to him, like he was down. He's like, wow, it sounds really great, man. If you guys are interested, let's do a record.
That's awesome. So if people want to get updates on upcoming shows and festival appearances,
Yeah.
what's the best way to do that?
That also on our Bandcamp, we always post upcoming shows, which there are none really till September now. You can go to our Instagram as well, which is just Instagram baratro_noise. We do have a Facebook, but I'm not on Facebook, so I couldn't tell you what our Facebook is, but it has something to do with baratro.
Dave, it was really nice speaking with you.
It's great talking to you, Adrian.
Is there anything else you want to say about the album or anything else?
Go buy it. It's good. It's good. We're all really proud of it, and we can't wait to keep touring and hopefully come to a town near you.
I mean, I might have to go to Milan. How's the food out there?
Oh, the food. You got to come for the food. Screw the record. You got to come for the food.
Awesome.
Nah, the food's awesome. No question. You got to come. Where are you based out?
I'm based in Malaysia.
Oh, you're in Malaysia. Gotcha. Okay. Well, shit. Yeah, it's a long plane ride.
Yeah, not the safest route right now, but maybe in a few years.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. Goddamn. Exactly. Well, let's keep each other posted then.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Take care.
Right on. You too. Bye bye.